the comprehensive and definitive Michael Rosen rhythmic syncopated vocal performance. It is within the realm of possibility that your subjective perception leads you to conclude that I'm experiencing a state of euphoric jubilation, just as you might alternatively surmise that I'm engulfed in a profound melancholy. You may formulate the hypothesis that my cognitive faculties have succumbed to psychological instability, or perhaps that I'm merely possessed by a temporary fits of irrationality. However, I implore you to maintain a firm grip upon your current seating apparatus and apply your auditory receptors with maximum intensity to the following disclosure, for I'm about to articulate a series of propositions so remarkably impactful that they shall result in the metaphorical thermal degradation of your external ear structure. A hip hop hap. I'm currently facilitating the oral delivery of the comprehensive and definitive Michael Rosen rhythmic syncopated vocal performance, colloquially identified as a rap. Behold the subsequent acoustic reflection and electronic imitation of my own voice. My biological emergence into this terrestrial plane occurred precisely on the 7th solar day of the month of May. I retain a remarkably vivid and detailed cognitive recollection of that particularly harrowing and suboptimal 24-hour interval. At that chronological juncture, I was situated within the internal anatomical confines of my maternal progenitor, maintained in a state of high-density muscular curvature. I feel compelled to observe, however, that the levels of ambient luminosity were virtually non-existent, rendering the environment as dark as the midnight hour. Finding myself devoid of any productive occupation and harboring a distinct lack of desire to initiate pulmonary respiration, I existed in a state of supreme contentment and possessed zero motivation to facilitate my own parturition. Suddenly, my auditory senses registered the high decibel vocalizations of several individuals articulating the command, "Provide a singular, forceful abdominal contraction, matriarch Rosen, and the neonate shall achieve a total physical egress." I must confess to you that this specific declaration presented a profound intellectual enigma to my developing mind. I responded by emitting a loud vocal inquiry: by what specific empirical methodology or prenatal diagnostic data have you arrived at the conclusion that my chromosomal configuration is definitively masculine? The attending medical practitioner responded with a high-pitched exclamation of theological shock. "Great celestial deity, the infant possesses the capacity for articulate linguistic communication." I immediately projected my cranial region through the birth canal and issued the following directive: I suggest you now direct your visual attention toward my capacity for bipedal locomotion. I subsequently executed a series of rhythmic, syncopated, and highly stylized physical movements throughout that clinical chamber. Balam bambula balam diddy boom. A hip hop hap. I'm currently facilitating the oral delivery of the comprehensive and definitive Michael Rosen rhythmic syncopated vocal performance, colloquially identified as a rap. Behold the subsequent acoustic reflection and electronic imitation of my own voice. Upon the completion of my initial solar orbital cycle, I successfully traversed the aquatic expanse of the English Channel via self-propelled immersion. By the time I had reached my second year of existence, I engaged in the metabolic ingestion of a textile cleaning cloth saturated with surfactant-based soap. During my third year, my physiological profile began to exhibit a notable reduction in total body mass. In my fourth year, I unilaterally appropriated and consumed the nutritional rations designated for the domestic canine. At the age of 5, I functioned as a primary percussionist within a collaborative musical ensemble. Upon reaching the age of 6, I consumed an entire sachet containing the stone fruit specimens known as plums. When I reached the age of 7, I collaborated with my female sibling to execute a clandestine and unauthorized withdrawal of financial assets from a banking institution. By the age of 8, I had ascended to the highest executive office of the sovereign government, serving as the Prime Minister. In my 9th year, I utilized my executive authority to facilitate the total cessation of operations for all educational institutions. And upon the completion of my 10th year, the collective populace saw fit to bestow upon me the title of Sovereign Ruler of the Intellectually Deficient. Thus, that constitutes the sum total of my current identity and existential state, which I shall proceed to spell out for the sake of orthographic clarity using the alphabetical characters M, I, K, and E. That is the definitive essence of my being, now and into the foreseeable future, Mr. Mike, Mr. Michael, Mr. Rosen, and Mr. Myself. A hip hop app. I'm currently facilitating the oral delivery of the comprehensive and definitive Michael Rosen rhythmic syncopated vocal performance, colloquially identified as a rap. Behold the subsequent acoustic reflection and electronic imitation of my own voice.